You know this green flag guy in the drama? The one everyone swooned over as the perfect, charming lead? Turns out he's waving a massive red flag in real life, and it's got everyone talking way more than the show itself. What happens when a rising star like Choo Young Woo, fresh off hits like Head Over Heels and The Trauma Code, Heroes on Call, keeps landing in hot water? Today, we're breaking down his controversies one by one, not just as isolated incidents, but as a pattern fans can't ignore. Before we dive in, I want to set the tone. Personally, I live by live and let live. I believe people make mistakes, and one slip shouldn't define a whole life. But when it's not just one mistake, when repeated choices keep sparking backlash, that's where it gets complicated. And that's the perspective I'm coming from today. Not trying to cancel, but also not ignoring patterns. The first wave hit back in January and February 2025 with what's now called the Instagram scandal. Right after his breakout roles, fans noticed he was following some accounts that raised concerns, such as rapper Young Sang-soo, who has faced legal issues, and certain Africa TV streamers known for posting attention-grabbing content. Screenshots even surfaced from 2021, showing he had already been warned about the same issue early in his career. At that time, he unfollowed 30 accounts and politely thanked fans for the warning. But when it resurfaced in 2025, it felt less like a rookie mistake and more like a repeated slip. Choo eventually unfollowed everyone, reset his list to 0, and apologized, saying he just likes scrolling reels and shorts. If this had been the only problem, people might have shrugged it off as careless browsing. But it planted the first seed of doubt. Then came the Blue Dragon Series Awards. Cameras caught him staring just a little too long at host Jang Do-yeon's revealing dress. At first, it went viral as a funny, awkward moment, something fans joked about. But once the Instagram issue resurfaced, the clip started being shared again, this time viewed as uncomfortable behavior. In the moment, it may have been harmless, just an awkward reaction that didn't mean much. Yet when seen alongside other incidents, it began to look like part of a broader pattern. That's where I feel conflicted. While I understand why some viewers are concerned, I don't think this single moment warrants intense criticism. Fast forward to September 2025, and things hit a new level with the phone case controversy. At a Tom Ford beauty event, Choo arrived polished in a sleek suit, but fans zoomed in on his phone case. The artwork depicted a schoolgirl in a short skirt, standing in front of a shop with mature-themed signage. Fans traced the design back to an artist known for illustrations of young-looking characters in stylized or provocative situations, which raised concern among viewers. This wasn't just a casual like on Instagram, it was a personal item, carried to a major public event. Even if he wasn't aware of the full background of the artist, the image itself was very difficult to justify publicly. Advertisers began pulling back, and the backlash exploded. For many, this was the turning point where excuses like carelessness no longer held weight. Here's where the pattern analysis kicks in. One incident could be an accident. 2 incidents might still be coincidence. But 3 and counting? That starts looking like a pattern. With Choo, we've seen a string of lapses in judgment, each one reinforcing the other. The Instagram follows could have been brushed off. The award show reaction could have been chalked up to awkwardness. But the phone case? That's deliberate enough to raise serious questions. And when you zoom out, it doesn't feel random anymore. And this is where it gets tricky. I don't want to jump to cancel culture, but when the controversies line up like this, it's hard to ignore the bigger picture. There's another layer too, his BL project background. Choo debuted with the BL drama You Make Me Dance in 2021, which gave him valuable early exposure. But as his career grew, fans noticed he downplayed or even avoided mentioning it in interviews and promotions. Some saw that as an attempt to distance himself from the BL genre, even while benefiting from it early on. When combined with the other controversies, particularly following accounts that were criticized for negative or harmful content, some fans began pointing out perceived inconsistencies. It added to the growing perception that his public image doesn't line up with his private choices. Now here's where I want to pause. I believe people make mistakes, and I don't think one slip should define a whole person's life. But what do we do when it's not just one mistake? When we see repeated choices that keep sparking backlash, that's where I get conflicted. I don't want to cancel someone over an awkward reaction or a careless follow, but I also can't ignore it when those slips start to form a pattern. We just talked about Park Sung-hoon losing a major project over one social media post, and I thought that was really sad. But in Choo Young Woo's case, it doesn't feel like just one moment. It feels like a series of choices stacking up. So maybe the bigger question isn't just, did he mess up? but whether the industry and the audience will give him the space to grow, or decide that the green flag is gone for good. I'm still learning myself, trying to be fair, kinder, and more thoughtful every day. So I'd really love to hear your perspective. Do you see these as clumsy mistakes from a rising star, or as red flags we can't ignore?